What's up, beautiful gigs? Congratulations, you made it through the year. And of course, to start the year off, we're gonna start it with this guy. This is the Puma Ultra 1.2. We're gonna unbox it and talk about it in detail. If you're new here, I do videos like this all the time, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notifications so you don't miss a thing. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up button. If you have a question, hit the comment box below. I'm gonna stop talking now so we can get the review video started. Let's get it. Okay guys, so before we get started with the review, let's first talk about what comes in the box. The box is a regular Puma box, nothing special. You have one pair of shoes. You have shoe number 1 here, and you have shoe number 2 here. That's pretty much all that comes in the box. Nothing else is in the box here. That's pretty much it. So now, let's talk about the shoes in detail. Okay guys, so before we get into a detailed review of the shoes, let's first talk colorway and logo positioning on the shoes. The colorway of the shoes is pretty straightforward and I love it. You have this blue colorway going on all around the shoes with like a hint of green or bright green or whatever you want to call that color every here and there. For the callouts, you have the Puma callout here, which is kind of in green. The Puma cat callout there, which is kind of in green. You have the Puma callout here, which is also in green. You have the Ultra callout here, which is in green. You have the, what is it, the MatryxEvo callout here, MatryxEvo technology callout here, which is also in green. And then you have the grip control callout here, which is also in green. The inside is in blue, same color. The color in the inside is very similar to the outsole and the color here, the elastic color here. Very similar to the interior color, except for the insole itself, the padding on the insole. It's kind of in light dark, or is it dark? Yeah, it's like dark grayish color. It is removable and we're going to talk about it in a couple of minutes. The outsole is in blue, and then you have the Puma green color out here. So as far as the colorway of the shoes go, that's pretty much all you get for it. You have the simple blue colorway that just kind of takes over the whole shoes, but then you have this kind of green thing going on. The green line that you guys see here, you have that going on there. And then on the call out, mostly it's kind of like this neon bright kind of green going on there. The lace itself is also blue, but then you have like a white dot going on like a dots going on all around the lace itself, but same color as the outsole of the boots. So that's pretty much all you get for the colorway. Now enough about the colorway. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is how light the shoes is. And that's the case for most speed boots. But this thing is light, man. This thing is like floating in the air without nobody touching it, kind of light. I'm stretching it, of course. I was stretching my idea of how light the shoes is, but you get the point. It is super light, and that's the case for most speed boots. They're always super light because it gives you that possibility of kind of like running, playing without having to feel that there's something on your feet, which is really good. But nowadays, all of the shoes are light anyways, but this thing is really, really light. Just wanted to talk about that before getting into the upper of the shoes. The upper of the shoes, oh man, I like the upper of the shoes. The colorway, the material, and this is the whole technology that they have going on up there, which is the MatryxEvo technology kind of thing going on there. The way the material is, the way the colorway is, and they have this in different colorway as well, it just kind of brings out the shoes, and it just, to me, it's like, oh, when it's all put together, it looks really, really good. It has like this kind of like bjorn. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that absolutely wrong. You kind of like this yarn material going up there. Very similar to a knitted material, but it doesn't feel knitted. It feels very rough. It feels, if you can hear the sound, I know that's kind of annoying, but I'm trying to make a point. Trying to make a point here. It feels very rough a little bit, not very rough, but it feels a lot more rough than a knitted material. Like this will be considered a knitted material here. A little bit stretchy. This one seems a bit stiff on the upper of the shoes. Stiff, but beautiful. Beautifully stiffed. I'm a wordsmith today, bro. Anyway, it is a little bit stiff, as you can feel, but it's very well laid out. And the whole idea here is to give you that fitted feel. As always, as all of this should give you that fitted feel when you play. But Puma has done a really good job in terms of like the design of it. I mean, this thing is like, it's beautiful. It's a beauty in itself. It looks good. It feels different. The material feels different than knitted material, but it looks and it gives you the impression of it being a knitted material, but it looks totally different. So as far as the upper of the shoes go, that's pretty much all the Matrix, I think that's what they call it, or whatever they call it, the MatryxEvo technology on the upper of the shoes. On the forefront of the shoes, you have the grip control Pro. Now I'm a bit curious because if you look here, you can see that there's some sort of like synthetic material going on here on the forefront of the shoes, all the way here, all the way here, mostly at the bottom of the shoes. I'm not sure when Puma says let me bring it closer for you guys, when they say the Grip Control Pro, I'm not sure if that's mostly applied to kind of like this thing going on, like this extra coating going on around here. It feels a bit stiff too, so when you run your hand to it, you can feel the stiffness of it. Wherein if I run my hand to it, it just goes through, but here it just kind of like, you can tell my hand is being stopped, or it feels weird. Let's just go with that. But I'm not sure if it only applies here, or when they refer to the grip control, it applies to the whole shoes. I will assume that it applies only to the forefront of the shoes here, and in this area of the shoes as well, because you have this kind of like technology, this elastic, this material or thing going on here and all the way around the shoes. So as far as the upper go, those are mostly the major part of it. Now you have this elastic. This is what feels a little bit knitted to me. So this feels a lot more knitted, of course, than this side of the shoes. Again, this technology is a lot more different, but it's nice. I love it. This is a knitted sock color here. It looks pretty nice. It's very nice, very flexible. You have a little bit of thing going on up here that kind of like resemble that kind of short version of the dynamic fit color. Of course, this is a Nike, but I'm going to compare it to that. It feels well. You have this color that looks well. We're going to test it, so I'll tell you guys if it feels well, but it looks well, and it's supposed to give you all that one piece upper feel when you put it on. Now, one of the things that I'm not so happy about with the shoes, now, for most of you guys, you might look at this and be like, that's not an issue. But the thing right here, so if you guys are looking at this, you have this stuff right here, that the lacing system, where you have this one-to-one, right? It's like a one-to-one kind of lacing system going there. And then you have this thing where the lace go through. It feels a bit cheap to me. But it looks pretty good, I guess. But it feels a bit cheap, and it feels, I don't think that it is going to cause any problem, but it almost feels as if, to me, if you play with this too much, you might kind of rip or cut, because it seems as if it's just a bunch of like kind of really nice strong wires going, several of them, a couple of them, I can't tell you how much, but a lot going on from each one, from one end to another, from one end to another, to hold the lace in place and give you that one-to-one upper feel. And even if it was to kind of break, like this part right here break, which seems as if, looks as if it might break, the shoe itself is kind of it looks like a very fitted shoe, and we're going to talk about that when we try it on. So even if that was to break, you still be able to play with the shoes without the lace itself, because when you put it on, it's going to hold your feet in place, and it's going to give you that one piece upper. Okay, guys, so let's talk about the outsole of the shoes. Now, there are a couple of things that I'm not impressed with on the shoes itself. But the boot as a whole is a great boot, but these are the two things that I'm not impressed with. The outsole, not so much, and also of course, this little thing that you have here. But that doesn't, as a whole, it doesn't take anything away from the boot for me. I still love the boot. I think it's a great boot. It looks well. And as a whole, it's a great boot. But those are the two problems that I have with it. This guy and the outsole. Let's talk about the outsole a little bit. The outsole has all this bladed studs going on there on the outsole of the boots. Now, my problem is not so much the bladed studs or the design, it's the stiffness of it. Now, I'm sure Puma has done their research, and they've decided that this design, this layout is the best for speed. But for me, when I think speed, I don't just think speed. I think the ability to be able to move around and just kind of the flexibility to be able to do what you want to do. And for me, this being so stiff a little bit kind of seems as if it's going to restrict me a little bit in terms of like controlling the ball, or in terms of moving, not so much controlling the ball, but in terms of moving around. As I say repeatedly on this channel, boot doesn't make you faster. It helps you play better. It helps you run better. It makes it easier for you to do those things, but it doesn't make you necessarily better or faster. But the design of it, you have all kind of bladed stuff going on there. You have this series of lines going on there, which makes it very stiff. That's my biggest problem with it, a little bit stiff in the middle. A little bit flexible in the forefront, so that's good. That's a plus. Not too flexible, but flexible enough. And I'm assuming that's because this is where the pressure is. This is where you put a lot of pressure when you want to accelerate a little bit, accelerate forward. So there's a bit of flexibility there. But as far as the middle go, or the boot as a whole, it's not that flexible, and that's one of my biggest problems with it. And again, it's not a huge thing, but that's one of the problems that I have with it. This guy, and then the other one, of course, is this lacing stuff that we have here. So as far as the outsole go, guys, that's pretty much all you get for it. As far as the boots go, that's pretty much all you get for it. So now let's try it on, and let's see how it looks and feel on our feet. Okay, guys, so as far as the feel go, the boots feels very well. It feels fitted. Well, I don't want to say fitted, because when you say fitted, some people think that it's tight. It wasn't tight at all. It was perfect. And initially when I saw it, when I was playing around with it and I took it out of the box, I initially thought that, oh, this is going to be a very, very, very fitted shoe, boots. But it wasn't. It feels just great on my feet, almost as if like it was made for my feet. And also one of the things playing around with it and having it on for a while that I realized is that this boot is actually going to fit people with wide feet perfectly, because it feels so well. It looks like it's going to be restricted in the way it looks, and the upper being a little bit stiff, but it really is not. It feels well. I love the way it feels, and the look is a killer too, and it looks very well. So all in all, I love the way it feels. It feels perfect. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you hit the thumbs up. If you have any question, as always, hit the comment box below, and I'll try to answer it to the best of my ability. I'm on YouTube once a week, so just keep that in mind. As always, don't forget to stay geeking. I'll see you guys next week. Peace!